Giving our praises to the Most High through Hamashiach, and just want to come back at the fam with a update to an earlier video I posted on on Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a.ka Big Gretch, a.ka the big brunette buff wearing bimbo, the boss of the Mia Bella Cosa Nostra, Big Gretchelini, who's apparently sending her cronies, her goons, her hitters, her shooters, her demons at President Donald J. Trump. Looking at this Fox News article here, Trump campaign says Whitmer encouraging assassination attempts against president with discreet TV message. Digits 8645 were displayed in the background during an appearance on NBC's Meet the Press Sunday. So the digits 8645, 86 is a restaurant term. I used to work in restaurants years and years ago, and 86 meant to get rid of, or it's dead, it's off the menu, or cancel that order. Basically just to exit out, cancel it, get rid of it, right? 86. And 45, of course, is Donald Trump's number. He's the 45th president of the United States, right? So let's get into this article here. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has been accused of encouraging assassination attempts on President Trump after displaying 8645 in the background of a national television interview Sunday. Now, I mentioned goons, cronies, hitters, shooters, and demons, and all the street terms there, but in actuality, 8645, that having that number displayed, it very well could have been activation of a Manchurian candidate. Some programmed multiple out there who is programmed for such a time as this, right? And seeing those numbers or seeing certain color codes, hearing certain words, unlocks their programming, and they go into action and go to work, right? And you see these type of characters like with the shooter out in Colorado at the Batman Rises movie out in Colorado, who shot up all those people in the movie theater and whatnot. Those are Manchurian candidates. They're programmed to do these things, right? There's people like that out there in waiting in the wings. So this could have been a signal for them, for all we know. Appearing on NBC's Meet the Press, the Democratic governor spoke from Lansing, Michigan, about her state's coronavirus restrictions and slammed Trump's response to the pandemic, all while the digits 8645 and bubble letters were perched by a houseplant on a coffee table behind her. The numbers prompted a reaction from one of Trump's campaign's verified Twitter accounts. Right? Governor Gretchen Whitmer displayed an 8645 sign during her TV appearance. Trump War Room tweeted, adding 86 can be shorthand for killing someone. Whitmer is encouraging assassination attempts against President Trump just weeks after someone sent a recent laced package to the White House, the account wrote. Hey, listen, as quiet as it's kept, from alternative news sources that I've been researching, the president has dodged a few assassination attempts already. And the public just doesn't know about it. But there's been multiple assassination attempts on his life, right? And the public has just not been aware of it, right? So that ricin laced package being sent to the White House, that's nothing new. People are really trying to take this man out. Back to the article. Shortly after Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death, the FBI and the U.S. Secret Service intercepted an envelope addressed to the White House containing the deadly substance ricin. A woman from Quebec was arrested at the U.S.-Canada border days later and is now facing federal charges in connection to the case. Tori Saylor, Deputy Digital and Creative Director for Whitmer, retweeted an account praising the governor for placing the digits 8645 in the background of the interview. The tweet included a screenshot of Whitmer during the NBC TV spot and read, "Bright and beautiful, nothing but respect, RBG, 8645. Nice plant, too. 10 out of 10 before tagging the governor. It was unclear from the tweet what the numbers meant to convey, but colloquially, the term 86 is slang for canceling someone, killing someone, or ejecting someone, sometimes from a bar or restaurant. Meanwhile, Trump is the 45th president of the United States. Whitmer's office did not immediately return a Fox News request for comment. In a statement to Fox News, Courtney Porella, the deputy national press secretary for the Trump campaign, said, by Gretchen Whitmer's own standard, displaying something encouraging people to 86, the president is employing dangerous rhetoric. During the interview, Whitmer also reacted to a video clip showing Trump at a campaign rally in Muskegon, Michigan on Saturday, where the president told the crowd, "You got to get your governor to open up your state," adding, "You got to get your schools open." The crowd then chanted, "Lock her up," referring to Whitmer before Trump added, "Lock them all up." It's incredibly disturbing that the president of the United States, 10 days after a plot to kidnap, put me on trial, and execute me, 10 days after that was uncovered, the president is at it again and inspiring, incentivizing, and inciting this kind of domestic terrorism, Whitmer said, reacting to the clip. It is wrong. It has got to end. Not just for me and my family, but for public servants everywhere who are doing their jobs and trying to protect their fellow Americans. Well, I'll tell you what, the people in the state of Michigan want the state open and they want the kids back in school. So Gretchen Whitmer, as a elected official, her job is supposed to be to adhere to the wishes of her constituents. And she's not doing that. She's playing mother hen and has the state completely locked down. Some of the most draconian mandates regarding COVID-19 in the country is probably number one as far as draconian mandates in the country. I mean, no one has been locked down like Michigan, right? So she is not doing her job. If she was doing her job, she'd be listening to her constituents. But, you know, these officials they're elected, they're selected, not elected. They're not here to serve you, the people. That's out. Back to the article. Saylor also tweeted a similar video from Trump's campaign rally, writing, "I am the governor's deputy digital director. I see everything that is said about and to her online." All right, so she's probably going to see this video. Every single time the president does this at a rally, the violent rhetoric towards her immediately escalates on social media. It has to stop. It just has to. This comes 2 weeks after the FBI uncovered an alleged plot organized by members of anti-government militia groups to kidnap Whitmer before Election Day, as well as to target and kill law enforcement and execute an armed raid on the Michigan Capitol. Now, let's look at this with some common sense and logic, people, right? Who has been anti-government? Who has been anti-law enforcement? Who has been raiding and attacking not only capitals, but cities and residential areas, burning down businesses and homes, right? Shooting people, literally killing people. Well, Black Lives Matter and Antifa have been doing that, right? In my last video, I talked about the head of the militia group, alleged head of the militia group that was organizing to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. And just looking at him, I mean, he looks like a far left liberal just by his appearance, right? And they're the only ones that are talking about being anti-government, anti-law enforcement. When you look at the right, they're more so about law enforcement back in the blue and having minimized government, but not anti-government altogether, right? And they're definitely not talking about raiding cities and burning down buildings and so on and so forth. That's been these extreme left wingers, right? So I believe, honestly, in myself that plot, it was an inside job. It's more so like COINTELPRO. It's more so like controlled opposition. Let's dig up this plot to say, hey, some far right wing militia was going to kidnap Governor Whitmer, and right before the election, and let's get some sympathy votes for the Democrats here. That the far right is gone mad and they're armed to the teeth with all sorts of AKs and ARs, and they want to take down the government. and let's get some sympathy votes here. That's kind of like where I'm leaning towards this. I really don't believe there was really a plot to actually kidnap her. I think just people that are working within the FBI that are helping to forward plans from the quote unquote deep state. Right, just my personal opinion. Right, back to the article. After federal prosecutors and the state attorney general announced the arrests, Whitmer made public statements blaming Trump for allegedly encouraging domestic terrorists to use violence against her and other politicians. She referenced comments the president made during the first debate against Joe Biden when he told members of the far-right group, the Proud Boys, to stand back and stand by. Right? So that's the gist of the article here. And I wanted to pull up a couple things here. Hang on one second. Okay, I wanted to play the video that they were talking about when Governor Big Gretch was saying that Trump is inciting more domestic terrorism against her.
Now, you got to get your governor to open up your state, okay? And get your schools open. Get your schools open. The schools have to be open, right? Lock them all up. Now, you got to...
All right, that was a video of Trump there at the rally, and they were chanting "Lock her up," talking about Gretchen Whitmer, a.ka. Big Gretchelini. But let me go ahead and here's the picture. Here's a still shot from the interview on NBC that Big Gretch had. And you see right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the still shot, I'm trying to zoom in for you guys so you can see it, but the number is 8645, right? And they have it in descending order too, so it's not just like 8,645. That's not what's being conveyed here. 8645. That looks to be deliberate, right? So Big Gretch is basically like, hey, allegedly some far right wing militia folks was about to kidnap me and torture me and kill me. So guess what? I'm gonna get my goons, my Manchurian candidates, to come kill you, Mr. President. That's what seems to be to me. Okay, let's get a couple scriptures. All right, let's go to the book of Luke, Luke chapter 21, verse 9. We'll start at verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, right? Or how about state against state, right? Because these are all, it's the United States of America. What do you call a country? You call it a state, right? Like it's his own individual sovereign nation, but they're the United States. They come together, right? That's why each state has a constitution, right? Based off of the federal constitution, but each state has its own individual constitution, right? These are all nations. So nation against nation, these states don't agree with each other. Okay. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, and we'll start at verse 14 and read on down here. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. You look up California. There's been 110,000 gun purchases in California. We're talking about liberal California had 110,000 gun purchases. And so 48% of them were new gun owners, and they're all on record saying that they're in fear of lawlessness. So they're buying weapons. right? People are going to be fighting against each other, swords in hands, guns in hands. That's the modern day sword. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Wow. They're not going to regard their kings nor their princes, or they're not going to regard their presidents, right? The governors won't regard their presidents, and the people won't regard the governors. Okay. Big Gretch is sending out 8645 programming, trying to unleash Manchurian program candidates, right? Manchurian program operatives, I should say. But the people here in Michigan, hey, they want to off her, right? So they shall regard neither their kings nor their princes. A governor is like a prince or a princess, and a president is like a king, right? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Didn't that happen already where they shut down travel, right? President shut down travel from China and from other countries. But there was even like internally in the United States, statewide travel was banned, especially like along the East Coast when it came to when it was like the first part of this whole COVID pandemic. You go over to the East Coast, Governor Wolf in Pennsylvania, he didn't want people from Delaware and New Jersey coming over, right? Verse 18, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. The cities are troubled. They're burning to the ground right now. Antifa's burning them all up. Houses are being destroyed, right? And men are afraid. That's why they out there buying them things, buying them gats. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. The food trucks are going to stop coming in. You're not going to be able to go to the grocery store to get food. Okay. There's going to be a lack of bread and great tribulation. There's going to be time to get busy. People are going to be running people's houses to get food, acting a goddamn fool. Verse 20, behold, saith the Almighty, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, from Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Verse 21, like as they do yet to this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus saith the Almighty power. So, hey, Babylon got to give back everything it dished out, right? But this is what I want to get here for my non-believers, you jakes that's out here committing all sorts of sins, breaking laws. Verse 22, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. Okay, so you jakes out there killing one another for no reason, over property you don't own, blocks you don't own, over colors, drugs, so on and so forth, over a woman, right? Most High has enmity against you. Verse 23, the fire is gone forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Almighty. So, hey, you got to keep these commandments in order to escape this judgment that's coming. Verse 25, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. So you 2/3 got to get away from the children. The children are those who are keeping the commandments of the Most High. Defile not my sanctuary. Well, the sanctuary of the Most High, his temple, has been destroyed. It's been destroyed since 70 AD. Okay, so what sanctuary is he talking about? He's talking about the spiritual sanctuary. Those that keep the laws and commandments of the Most High and have the testament of Hamashiach, they are the sanctuary of the Most High. They're the ones that's going to be delivered and kept during these times. And you 2/3, you got to go. You got to face that sword. So with that, I hope this has been edifying. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. And I'll be back at you soon. Shalom.